Welcome to Soul Ties Karmic Recall with David Dimitri. Edutainment, expression for liberation, and all you vibrating higher consciousness. Strap in with astral intelligence and quantum thoughts with David Dimitri.
You know, sometimes I wonder about all my loved ones that support me. And you know about Soul Ties Karmic Recall, my book series, my diversity talk show, and you also know about Prime Up Developmentals, my focus on getting people healthy and keeping people, giving tips and methods to keep yourself healthy and positive, energetic at your prime. Well, you need to know that these are just tactics and methods. Even writing my book was therapy for me. To be able to write my stories, soul ties, about my soul ties with other people and my experiences. Karmic recall, about the karma I went through, recalling it. So that's what my book was, a form of therapy. And I suggest it to you. And Prime Up is a way to keep myself healthy in my prime. You know, people say you're in your prime only into your early 30s. And even some people prime out even before their 30s. That's ridiculous. You should be at your prime all of your life. And it's a day-to-day choice. And so I just want to let you know that me, David Dimitri, is not a perfect, innocent person. And if you thought I was, you're far mistaken. Alright? I'm a recovering sex addict. I broke a lot of hearts, broke a lot of women's pockets, took from women's children's mouths, and even had young women, and ended up misinfluencing them about the way men are, and maybe they're being bad to men now because of me. And I just want to confess that I'm also a recovering attention addict. It just wasn't about getting attention. I don't have that typical light-skinned dude stereotype problem. I never had that problem. I wasn't raised like that. But my problem was I always wanted to give attention to people and get attention to, you know, being a successful athlete in different sports. I even had that wanting attention issue. And I let that attention addiction cause me to end up having a sex addiction. And then I also had an issue with having a lying addiction. I like to lie to people in my past. And I got a lot of money doing it. And I got to travel the world doing certain things. But I lied at times. But not as bad as other people. The lying thing wasn't really my biggest deal. But at times for money and to keep positions in life and keep things the way I wanted it and to get things the way I wanted it, I would lie. And it ended up hurting other people. And remember, when you lie to people, you kill them slowly. You let someone lie to you over and over again, they're killing you slowly. And that's a terrible death. And so I was attention addict. I'm recovered from that. A sex addict. I'm recovered from that. And a lying addict. Recovered from that. Before that, as a teenager, I grew up rough. Even rougher than a lot of people that think they grew up rough because they happen to be from whatever hood. But they weren't brutalized. I was brutalized being raised. And having to fight big grown men just out of prison that other men feared, brutalizing me to make me a vicious person. And so I became very violent. I'm a recovered violence addict. I love violence. Like how probably someone that's a prostitute, like a lot of my homegirls that are prostitutes or were, and even homeboys that were prostitutes and they were addicted to sex. And they love sex. And they loved it. Well, I didn't like sex as much as violence. I actually liked violence more than sex. That was one of my best addictions. I had to fight men bigger than me all my life. So, you know, as a teenager, about the time I become grown, I love to fight men bigger and to hear them squeal and feel their pain coming out of them. And it was an addiction. And you know, it did good for me in fighting sports and on the football field. But the addiction spilled over in my life, and I had to suffer losing my freedom over it many times, yada yada. I'm a recovered violence addict also. And I want you to know that Soul Ties Karmic Recall covers these matters and gives some important tips on how to recognize these things in ourselves and to overcome them, and to recognize them in others and to help them overcome them, or to avoid being hurt by those others. So if you need that, or you a single mom or a dad that don't get to see his teenage son or daughter much because of issues, living difference, or relationship issues with the mother, Soul Ties Karmic Recall could help your teenager. I know you probably know about the metaphysical life coaching and guidance counseling video tutorials I created. You haven't watched them. You're taking it for granted. This book, Soul Ties Karmic Recall, and the metaphysical life coaching and guidance counseling video tutorials. You don't want to spend a little money, but you think you care for that person, and you think you know how to help them to have a life that's gonna, but you ever thought that there's more out of life that you don't know, but that they could take and they'll be 100 times better than you even want them to be? Well, I can't guarantee you anything because I don't know the genes that you carry, or your son or daughter, or the person that you care for, but I think you should purchase the Metaphysical Life Coaching 2-video package, 2-hour-long videos of special insight on the taboo and parts of being a teenager and young adult. Talk about things like I was just talking about, and give the insight that only could have been earned to help them, to really help them. And Soul Ties Karmic Recall, the book, also covers that. And limited time offer with the purchase of the Metaphysical Life Coaching and Guidance Counseling video tutorial, Soul Ties Karmic Recall comes free. All you have to do is go to soultieskarmicrecall.com and you can get the Metaphysical Life Coaching, Guidance Counseling video tutorials and Soul Ties Karmic Recall now at a limited time offer with the book free and at a limited time price, very low price compared to usual. And I just want you to know that addictions are real, and without the knowledge and experience, or at least the experience, you can end up destroying yourself, sabotaging your relationships, sabotaging your own life. You want to break your generational curses, but do you want to help others? Get these video tutorials in this book. Take yourself to the next level. I know you want to be free and you want your people free and all that, but you know what? We all still have personal, individual issues to deal with. I'm just trying to help.
Thank you for watching the Soul Ties Karmic Recall webisodes. David and Michi brought them quantum thoughts for you. So remember, check for more on YouTube at Soul Ties Karmic Recall, and go to soultieskarmicrecall.com for the book series and MLCGC video tutorials.